Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Brand Royale.
Woo!
Ready, Show?
I'm ready. What are the brands this week?
This week we have a Monster battle.
Monster.
Energy drink.
Oh, okay.
Monster versus Red Bull is who we're going to talk about this week.
Woo. Red Bull is pretty hot right now.
Red Bull is always hot. Feels like they're always like one marketing campaign after another, just smashing it out of park in terms of what they do. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see these two brands.
Yeah.
Very similar products, obviously. Energy drinks.
Similar strategy in a way too for energy drinks, I guess. Or
and
drinks
simple
in general.
products, right? It's pretty crazy that simple products can create multi-billion-dollar industries, and I would say media empires around it. I think we'll get a little bit into it and understand how big these companies have gone over the years. But let's see. For example, like Red Bull, born 1984, right? Monster used to be Hansen's Natural. That used to be like their company that then
same time
created a whole new brand after.
Did a scientist like discover something? Like
no, I think taurine and just energy drinks in general became kind of popular around that time. And so Hansen came out with what they call a natural energy drink, and it just didn't really hit the market very hot. Like people were not really connecting. I think one thing Red Bull did at the time was really find an interesting niche target audience in extreme sports and sports in general. And when Monster realized this in 2002, Hansen's realized this in 2002, they created a sub-brand called Monster. And that became the can that the black can with the green M. And that became what the Monster brand came. It literally became...
Was Hansen something else before an energy drink? Or
no, I think... I don't know exactly what they did. They did drinks, but they tried to do energy drink. And the design of the can wasn't great. The branding wasn't really hitting that target audience for energy drinks. And energy drinks were really unknown at the time. Nobody really kind of made those. So it's kind of interesting to see how Monster was really created as a reaction to Red Bull. This company was like, we need a Red Bull killer that will like hit the shelves and really kind of be interesting. And so Rockstar around the same time also created brands that were doing similar things, but it's pretty interesting. You see how they scaled, right? Like 4.6 billion revenue for Monster with only 3,000 employees.
Yeah, that really surprised me. And that actually seems like the better business model. It's like a third of the employees for 3/4 of the revenue.
So I would say the revenue for Red Bull is a bit of an approximation just because they're a private company, so it's much harder to understand how much money they make. This is supposedly just in sales some money drinks. On the side. Yeah, this is supposedly just in drinks. And now with their Red Bull TV or their Red Bull events and all these other things that they do, so I'm guessing that number is probably much higher.
They have their own sponsorships now.
Yeah. What's interesting about Monster is they managed to get to that revenue, and as we talked about it together, but so since they partner with Coca-Cola, so Coca-Cola bought stake partnership in Monster to help them basically open up the doors of their distribution channels, which allowed Red Bull to basically, Monster to basically explode, which is why they can get such high sales just by tapping into the infrastructure that Coca-Cola already had built.
That makes sense. So, partner with the big boys.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty impressive. So let's take a look at the brands and how different they are, right? For selling a similar product, they couldn't be more opposite. Red Bull using really bright, kind of energetic colors to really grab your attention, and Monster just slapping you in the face with this like bright green, gluey, scary kind of like everything. And it's pretty interesting. Like they've really capitalized on the whole black and green look and like pushed it all the way.
Monster's interesting for me. It doesn't seem tasty. It might just be me, but I've always been kind of thrown off by the brand.
Yeah,
but it clearly has found an audience that works.
So that's an interesting one. I would say Red Bull was very much of maybe a European market when it started as well. Okay. So the approach might have seemed a bit more tamed maybe, and I feel like...
The commercial is fun. I think everybody enjoyed the commercial.
Well, let's look at this. I remember the olden days when you used to run into a Red Bull car. We used to live in Pasadena, and the Red Bull cars used to come by with a big can in the back, and the girls used to come out and just like offer you free drinks. We used to get like full cases. I had as an art student to drink like tons and tons of Red Bull. Whereas Monster, let's say they
in hindsight, is that kind of corrupt? Like going to a bunch of kids and giving them a bunch of energy.
Well, drinks? they went all over the place. They just used to give energy drinks to people, which is I guess Monster's also strategy. Except they used to go. Monster goes more to motocross and like all these events that like kind of more like rural America, California, like those events, like lifted trucks and motorcycles. And now they're going into a lot of gaming, which is also interesting for Monster. Whereas Red Bull is really focusing on the extreme of extreme sports. They're going to the top of the top Formula One. They're going to sending athletes out of space and making them drop into Earth. They're doing a lot of interesting
Yeah, their
stuff.
production team is pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, I think as we mentioned, Red Bull basically they're selling energy drinks, but they're really a media company now. When we'll look at their website and kind of the things that they produce, they're pretty impressive in terms of how much content they manage to produce just based on extreme sports.
I think they have like their own Netflix now or something.
Well,
like
they have Apple TV.
Red Bull TV.
They have Red Bull TV. Yeah, Red Bull TV is like straight up like they have everything, events. Like it's pretty cool. We'll take a look at it.
Cool.
But their ad strategy too, Unleash the Beast, which is way more. So talk about primal branding. I would say Monster is very primal, very like it taps into your instinctual, like humanistic, like almost like Unleash the Beast.
Yeah.
It's very like deeply rooted, whereas I would say Red Bull is using a way more aspirational strategy to their campaigns when they're like telling you like gives you wings, like you can kind of do anything on Red Bull.
Yeah.
And I think that's where their marketing dollar is spent in like jumping out of space and like doing all these things that like really pushes human potential. And I think that's kind of how they position themselves. And Monster is taking a totally different approach. They're going the more like gritty kind of route, the more like in the dirt route, like which is I think working for them since it seems like they've captured quite a big market share since they came out with this new brand.
That's fun. Yeah, I honestly haven't seen too much of Monsters or Red Bulls. Like you don't really see ads anymore. You just see events.
Yeah, Red Bull, surprisingly, you still see ads. Once in a while, you see like a 20-second, 10-second snippet, and at the end, it's like the cartoon, it's always the cartoons, and then at the end, it's like, gives you wings, and it's like, so you see it here and there, but it's becoming more rare.
Oh, the cartoons.
Let's dive into their brand. Let's just take a little nitty-gritty look at their actual brand identity.
I'm not a fan of the outline monster.
The outline around the logo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had to because I think that green doesn't pass legibility compliance on that white. So they probably had to stroke every green on white background.
That's tricky. The slash is kind of cool. I feel like they could do something with that. They can simplify the slash. It does create an M.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's pretty iconic. When you saw it the first time on that black can,
yeah,
there was something about that monster M that became really, really iconic.
It looks strong. It almost looks scary strong. It looks like...
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. The O with the cross a little bit in the middle, like a little bit satanic maybe.
Just for the tough people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those kids, I was like, I just had 3 monsters. I'm crazy.
You're listening to like hard metal and things like that, it seems like. But yeah, it definitely has that edge, whereas Red Bull, a bit more, coming from an Austrian kind of entrepreneur and stuff, I can see a little bit more clean, using Futura and their Red Bull font and like things like that, I think is really clean. The beauty about both of these companies is that since they came out, they haven't really rebranded, whether that's their actual brand or their cans.
Since day one. Since 1985?
They've changed it. Well, Red Bull since 2002 hasn't really changed their can or their logo. And Red Bull since the 80s like hasn't really changed their cans. It's been the chrome and blue can pretty much the whole time, and it's been the bull on the sunset.
Was it always cans? They didn't have bottles back in the day?
No, it's pretty much metal cans what came out, yeah. Monster became this huge thing because Red Bull sells there in small cans, and Monsters came in huge cans, like the American style. Again, we talked about like the European maybe subtlety versus the American. Like they literally came with the lift.
You could kill somebody with it by throwing it at their head.
Pretty much, yeah. Nobody needs 16 ounce, I think, of taurine in their veins. But, very, very interesting kind of
Got
way
some
of
essays
like,
done in college.
Yeah.
That should be like the real commercial. They should just have a bunch of kids in college trying to write an essay. Just pull out a Red Bull and one pulls out a Monster.
It's pretty much how they market most of their products now, like 18 to around that age, like that age range. I would say 18 to 25-year-old, like men mostly. That's pretty much their marketing strategy, which is interesting. I think leaves the door open to be way more inclusive. I think in both of these companies in terms of the way they market themselves. But still, let's look at their colors. I think something pretty interesting happening between the two. Monster's very muted color palette, which we'll see a lot on their website. Red Bull, very consistent all the way across, always very, very consistent. That's one thing you can see across Red Bull's like entire line of anything that they do. Very consistent branding, very consistent color use, like very, very clean all the time.
Yeah, it makes sense to me that the Red Bull, like it being an energy drink, you have a bull just going crazy after. Like,
well, that's the taurine, right?
Red.
Taurus, taurine.
Makes so much sense.
That's like the.
Yeah, I do have to give it to Monster. I guess it does look like a Monster scratched the.
It's a pretty clever brand, like in terms of the way it's been executed. I think it was pretty powerful.
Yeah,
I read the case study behind the agency that designed it years ago, and it was pretty powerful in terms of how much they managed to like create that brand from scratch from an energy drink and really tackle the market and take a lot of market share away from Red Bull. They gave Red Bull a run for their money when they came out. So
it makes sense that like people that are already into like energy drinks would be like, oh, this is like the crazier version. Yeah, let's do that.
yeah, pretty much. They were like, hey, we're gonna go dark.
Smart positioning.
Yeah.
You want energy? Here's more energy. Go crazy.
All right, I think we're gonna dive into these companies' websites. Let's take a look a little bit how they're presenting themselves across the board.
Woo,
Welcome
clean.
to RedBull.com.
That's clean.
With a little changing navigation at the top here with some fresh news. We can see Checo over here winning in Monaco.
Oh, Thomas isn't biased at all.
No, but I mean, beautiful website though. You come in here and you feel like, I mean, what are they selling you a drink here?
No, yeah. Where is the drink?
Where is the drink on their website? So it's interesting. It's hidden within like products, which is, so they're serving you a few things that they do. Red Bull TV, the events that they put on, the athletes they sponsor, and then the products they make. So this is like kind of like the Red Bull ecosystem. Pretty nice website. I'm gonna go first to events and athletes a little bit and just take a look. I mean, it's crazy how many things Red Bull sponsors now. Anything from esports to they like throw concerts and they do underground. What you used to, you said you knew about Red Bull from their
oh yeah, Red Bull VC1.
Yeah, they're like breakdance and stuff.
Popping on YouTube.
Tons of athletes. Obviously, one of their key marketing strategies is sponsoring athletes all around the world, in a lot of different sports. So you can see anything from cricket to ultra running to snowmobile to MotoGP to F1. So really kind of interesting range of athletes, which keeps you guessing in terms of like how well they're introducing themselves to all these different sports and all these different events. They're really selling a drink, but they're allowing their athletes to basically do a lot of marketing for them to untapped markets, which is really good.
It's interesting how they get like excellence from different sports too, and they could probably learn so much in teaching one athlete to do something to teach another one, whether it's like oxygen retention or
whatever. I'm guessing they probably have some crazy amount of data around their athletes. By the way, a really nice subtle touch with their Red Bull redesigned logo currently with the Ukraine flag in the background.
Woo.
It's kind of like this like nice splashed wave.
That is nice.
It's pretty clean.
That's hard to do too. Wow. Well done.
So you can browse Red Bull by their brand, so you can see all their different things that they do, and look how consistent the branding is.
That menu brought like a tear to my eye.
It's like it's super nice.
So nice. Look at all those sub brands too. I'd be really curious how they manage all that.
It's pretty beautiful.
They create all those booths, all those swag items.
Yeah, they have to control these different brands and make sure distribution channels are clean for all of these. But very, very nice thing. Let's go to their product. After all, that's kind of what we know Red Bull for. So how simple is that landing page for their product?
Beautiful.
I mean, it's like, I guess it's pretty straightforward. I guess by now the can speaks for itself. People know what they're getting. So it's not like they're trying to sell you anything really on here, which is kind of cool. Pretty straightforward, kind of like almost like mission statement that they're going after, whether or not we think that's what it does or not for you, but pretty beautiful way of displaying all their product and their information. It's nice. They're not trying to sell you too much. Very clean. You know exactly what to focus on every time you're on the screen. There isn't too much information. A lot of white space allows you to breathe clearly. You can scroll through and not get too like offended by how much stuff they're trying to sell you. It's kind of like tastefully done.
This is one of the clearest websites I've ever been on. It's almost refreshing to see how honest it is and how straightforward it is. I mean, it technically doesn't give you wings, but
yeah, but since they spelled it with 3 I's, technically they can't be legally accountable for not giving you wings. No, I'm just
okay.
As part of their.
I'm actually very curious why they did that.
That's part of their give you wings.
Okay.
So you have to say it like that every time you read it. That's how you have to say it, which is interesting.
Perfect timing with the guy.
Yeah, give you wings. There you go. But that's funny. Look how much dynamic content they use, right? If they're talking about giving you wings and everything is about being active and stuff, there's a lot of moving content on their website.
Here's proof. Yeah.
Here's proof. Exactly. Things are in motion. Every time you talk about Red Bull, things are in motion. I think this is where their website also works really well. The hover states, like a lot of like beautiful little attention to detail. Yeah, cool. Well done. Let's take a look. This is the first time we're doing this, but let's take a look at something that you and I do quite often is looking at websites' performance. And so in Chrome, you can look at lighthouses.
Of course, they're fast.
Results, and you can see to be in the green like this is pretty impressive for a website, especially of that scale, with RedBull TV and everything. 92% performance, 100% accessibility.
They consulted the Formula One team on this.
92, yeah, that's pretty.
This is very rare to see, above 90 across the board, 100 on accessibility, 100 best practices, 100. 92, like that 8% could just be because they have some videos on the website.
Yeah, largest contentful. So I think it's a little bit of the video content slowing down the website. But even accessibility, for accessibility is everything legible and passing AA compliance and things like that. So their CTAs are very clear. The white on red works really well. So yeah, they're killing it.
Big call to actions, super function oriented. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Clean. Everything I'd imagine an Austrian company do, even down to the website detail. Now,
they got me thinking now. Okay.
Let's look around. Let's look at the stark contrast right away, right? We're going from RedBull's really clean, white, light page to right away getting hit in the face with a lot of different things. So let's digest this a little bit. Let's take a look at what's calling our attention here.
Those feel like NOS canisters.
There's definitely a lot more going on. I have to admit, even if the content itself is pretty simple, I think even within each image that they're choosing, there's just a lot. They're throwing a lot at you, which I think is okay if you manage to digest. But like even how close all the fonts are and like the line heights and things, there's a lot of things that for me like feel very packed on this website. But let's go back to the beginning.
I think that's a mistake, by the way, by the design team. They should never do that.
Something happened here in their stuff.
The line height might
be messed up. But let's just take a look really quickly at just the intro here. It's really hard for me to understand where I'm supposed to click. Like the first thing that calls my attention is this big win.
Win all access.
So yeah, I guess that's powerful if that's what they're trying to make you do. But it's a little bit hard to know exactly what they're trying to sell you, I guess, when you have so many things going on. You have to pick between this top header menu, all of these different items, and these that are calling at the same attention as the header menu.
There's probably somebody on the branding team was like, I told them they can't upload graphics in those header images.
Fortunately, that is never...
and the partner was like, oh, I need these graphics. I need this ad right there, right on the homepage.
And right away below the fold, they're selling you the product. Another difference from RedBull, where you don't see a lot of their products until you get to the product page. They dive quite into it right away.
I'm curious, like, do people come here to order products? I guess.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody goes to monster.com.
Pretty rare, right?
monsterenergy.com to like buy any.
So what the primary purpose is just to be like.
I think honestly to sell, buy into the brand. I mean that's what the website is like, almost a brand's most powerful tool nowadays, because that's what you do. You go in there to buy into the brand, right? See what's going on. I'm not sure how many people come here to just talk to see Ice Cube and stuff like that. But really interesting the products though. Like talk about creating, a product range with a system, right? I mean they're just changing colors and this isn't UCAN. So kind of simple branding, and they're staying consistent across everything, which I mean always works for them, I guess.
Yeah, you can see it on the aisle. You always do.
Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's go to talk about choices here.
Yeah, that's a little option fatigue. Not sure what to click on.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I wonder, with Red Bull, I always get the original. Monster, I don't really even know if there is an original, but
yeah, there's a green one.
There's a green one.
That's the green one, and then there's the blue, which I think is the low sugar or something. But it is I think decision fatigue here. There's a lot of things going on. Even if they took me to products and then allowed me to look at what's going on, that would have made it a bit easier. So here's a similar example of Red Bull sub brands. Here's Monster sub brands.
Muscle Monster. Whey protein in there. Is that?
I mean, this is a perfect example of logo legibilities for a lot of these. Like, it becomes really hard to read and understand what this says, or even some of these over here. I have no idea what this second line says at all. I think especially so working with app icons is really huge nowadays. Yeah. Like shrinking logos to be able to keep that legibility is huge. So as designers work, they scale their logos to different sizes. One of them is
like a horror
size.
Like video game from the 80s or something for like PS1.
It's a bit hard to read, definitely. And I would say that kind of impacts, like if I come here, I'm not exactly sure what I might be looking for, but not the sexiest way I would say to display your
those call to actions are rough.
Oh, this
Even
is to change drinks.
the center aligned text going right through the site.
Yeah, it makes it hard to read with a lot of widows.
Yeah, and that paragraph copy, the white on black, is just really bad for legibility. So it's like they don't want you to read it because it's going to hurt your eyes as you get through the lines.
Let's see if we have...
I almost feel bad. I feel like I'm picking on them now.
Yeah, I guess that's what we do head-to-heads, right?
Yeah,
you can see two different strategy. Yeah. Again, not to say that this is wrong, because obviously they're selling millions and millions of cans.
And it evokes a feeling. You definitely feel like, oh, if this is a more energetic can. So if you wanted more energy than a Red Bull, you go for the Monster.
It's more like if you're like almost like the clean edge will go like Red Bull, and like the people that are just like, I need to just like take it on the go and just live life. Like I'm gonna go straight Monster. Let's take a look at their website performance.
If you're dancing at your party, then Red Bull. If you're blowing up monster trucks at your party, then it's Monster.
All right.
Ouch.
Monster.
Ouch.
We need to talk.
Site performance is a little rough. SEO.
Yeah.
Best practices at 67. Performance 54. So they don't even have videos on their website. I actually thought that
there's not a lot of dynamic content, surprisingly. So for Red Bull, that's loading a lot of dynamic content. They're managing to reach really, really high scores on their website. A little bit more difficulty here for Monster. One of the big ones that caught my eyes was like their accessibility scores, and I realized that like their main CTA, so your call to action buttons are supposed to be the loudest things, the things that catch the most attention, that really call you to press on it. Their white font on the green background does not pass legibility.
That's rough.
And so that's kind of an issue. Especially like that's almost like the basic of designing some of these buttons, and for it to be legible on this green background, probably the font would have to be black, unfortunately for them. I don't think it went with their look, so they kind of like brushed it aside. But website performance, rough. For anybody that wants to look at their website performance, you can always inspect a page and then go to your
you'd have to
Lighthouse.
turn on developer tools and preferences, right?
Yes,
but go to Chrome preferences, turn them on.
I believe so. But you can Google how to get Lighthouse, and they'll show you how to get it really quickly.
This is good news for Monster, though. If they fix this, they'll get like an additional 20% revenue through their website.
Honestly, the beautiful thing is, there's a lot of room for improvement that they can take in consideration the next iteration of that website.
They have the same revenue as Red Bull at that point, with like a quarter of the employees.
They can probably run a really, really impressive website if they wanted to. I wonder really how much comes through their website. All right, let's dive into their social media presence a little bit and see how they're connecting with their audience. Obviously, one of the best ways to connect with their audience nowadays. Monster, surprisingly beating Red Bull on Twitter. They have 3 million followers versus the 2 million that Red Bull has. I'm wondering if there's any bots
Makes no
in there.
Sense.
Maybe there's bots in there. Who knows? Let's take a look at the kind of content Monster is producing on there. Obviously, selling their product as always. They really want to. This is a cold brew Monster. Interesting. All right.
Oh, you got Thomas's attention there.
Yeah, a little bit of cold brew.
The gold looks kind of nice.
Here we got some motocross and some flames. Exactly what I'm expecting when I'm thinking of Monster.
That works on social. That works on social.
Let's go. I think that gets likes and views. And a lot of interesting footage. It's really fascinating nowadays. Every weekend, these companies get tons and tons of media and content just by sponsoring these sporting events.
Does Red Bull do they do skating at all, or is that?
I think Red Bull's in everything. Pretty much everywhere now. Okay. I think they're sponsoring athletes and events pretty much all over the place. Yeah. The Monster ladies, as they like to show around all the time.
Competitive bartending.
Let's see, skateboards. Yeah, I mean, clean. Let's go to their Instagram. 8 million followers. They're sharing a lot of the same content, some unique content for Instagram. It seems like, which is nice.
All this action sports stuff is perfect for. It's almost like they're sponsored by GoPro or something. They probably are.
I mean, pretty much every month now, every weekend they get like tons and tons of content. It's crazy. They just have to. I think their social media people just have to sift through hours of content.
I don't feel bad for them. This seems pretty fun.
Let's look at Facebook, the king of marketing, as still. When you look at this, 25 million people follow Monster Energy drink.
By the way, real quick, did Facebook do they did a whole UI rebrand thing?
A little bit. They retouched a little bit of the
left toolbar is new.
Yeah, the corporate kind of business profiles.
Cleaner. It looks like an app, huh?
Yeah. This is the exact same content that's on Twitter. they're posting the exact same content. So, which makes sense. 25 million people. Let's take a look at RedBull. Yeah, 2 million people. So 1 million people less on Twitter. I wonder if they share less or if they interact less with people. I wonder what their strategy here. But sharing a lot of the victories and the wins and the energy. It seems like. Let's take a look. Verstappen winning, a lot of Grand Prix things. Obviously the fluke the fluke tag. I always wanted to attend this. This looks hilarious.
We have to.
It's kind of fun that like Red Bull, I think one thing they do well is they don't take themselves too seriously a lot of times with some of this stuff, unless they're throwing somebody out of space. But other than that, they do some pretty wild stuff. Let's take a look at their Instagram. Yeah, they have double the amount of followers on Instagram compared to Monster Energy.
Makes sense.
So I think they're focusing a lot more probably on Instagram. They're publishing a lot of like high visual content, a lot of videos.
Their Netflix special must have been huge for them too. I can only imagine.
The F1 one?
Yeah.
Well, for the Red Bull, they only sponsor a couple of cars in there, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure they get tons of revenue from that. Little nice WRC little rally car up here. I love that. I mean, so iconic. Like that you see that bull and you just know it's pretty fascinating. 48 million people following on Facebook, man. The power of Facebook, it's crazy. Crazy.
Wow. Why even mess on the other social platforms if you have 48 million people on Facebook?
I wonder the interactions for each platform, but I'm guessing they're getting way more interactions on,
who they
Facebook
convert
as well.
Most from.
Yeah, I'm still sure it's Facebook. It must be with that many people following.
I had no idea it was that disproportionate. For us, it's LinkedIn, I guess. But I guess for this action sports stuff, Facebook is where you want to be.
Very, very clean. They're always like showing a logo in their videos. They're like branding things.
High quality. Yeah, these are nice cameras.
I think
that's a helicopter. Or maybe
it seems like they're utilizing a lot of their own created content. Ooh, look at this loading bar.
Nice.
On the side and the bottom. I've never seen
those little details.
I've never seen that before actually. Is that on other videos? No, just this one. It's super clean.
We might have to steal something like that.
This is pretty cool. All right, let's take a look. What else do we have going on here? All right, Red Bull versus Monster. Let's do a final analysis here. Let's take a look at two different strategies. So, again, very similar products. We're selling a can of energy drink, but what they're really selling you is the lifestyle and everything that goes beyond this, right? Like, I mean, now we've talked about Red Bull basically becoming a media conglomerate, right? With all of the different TV things they produce now. They produce like so many different like documentaries, live events, all these things on sports. That's pretty admirable. Monster on the other end, sponsoring a lot of different events, a little bit more grassroots, I would call them events, a little bit more rough and dirty, and they get the job done for that target audience. It's pretty fascinating. What do you think?
It's fun. It's extreme. I definitely, I prefer the Red Bull brand, but I might not be that extreme. So, but if you're into like monster trucks, extreme, you can't really say extreme sports, but I guess like the more sports. Like the gritty, almost like the darker side of energy, like Monster is where you want to be. Go get a little scary.
I mean, one of them is almost literally like angel and devil. Yeah. Like one of them is a monster.
You want to feel your heart rate just kind of beating a little too fast.
But it's pretty fascinating though. Like similar attitudes, but one of them is more aspirational, gives you wings, makes you want to fly and like do the aspirational thing. The other one is Unleash the Beast, very primal, very more like related Extremely to our primal needs. Which is I think two very specific approaches to the same unique problem, and that's
two audiences. They'll always be there. Yeah, so these guys are probably always do well.
Yeah, exactly. They're very. I think they complement each other very well as two different brands, which is really nice. So, Red Bull, Monster, Brand Royale, another episode.
We don't have to choose at the end.
I mean, you can choose if you want. I love the taste of Red Bull. I've drank quite a bit of Monsters too, but I think Red Bull in terms of taste and branding just gets me the simplicity, how consistent they are across the board. Yeah. Monster, props to them though. That mark is really iconic, and when you see it, you know what it is. There is a vibe and energy that you get about the way they're like displaying their brand. That's really admirable. And then black background just works on so many things. They're just like slapping that green logo on black background. It's got high contrast. It's really powerful from far. So
I gotta vote Red Bull too. I guess I just never gone to a place and asked for a Monster, and then I think my brand just fits Red Bull more. But I completely respect Monster as a brand, because I think like that extreme will always have to exist.
I think they've done an incredible job coming into a market that was dominated by Red Bull at the time. I don't remember, but I think it was like
their positioning makes
market
so much
share.
sense.
They came in with this very clear brand, very clear positioning, this opposite can, bigger, black with the green ones. All this stuff made it, and now they're battling quite well against Red Bull on the biggest stage. So quite the feat. Yeah. 2002. It's been a great work. Another Brand Royale. Let us know in the comments what you think about this episode. If you want to hear anything next week, if you want us to battle 2 different brands against each other, let us know. This was fun.
Fun stuff. Thank you, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.